across straight now to what Rishi Sunak, the newly appointed Prime Minister, British Prime Minister, has had to say.
With other leaders here about deepening our trade partnerships, particularly in the Indo-Pacific region, with Australia, with Japan and with Canada, the CPTPP arrangement. I've spoken to all those leaders about our plans to join that free trade area, which are exciting, and I'll be doing that after I leave here as well as the trade deal with India, which we remain committed to, but we need to make sure we get these things right. But what I'd also say is I think there's excitement about India taking the baton. I think Prime Minister Modi made an excellent speech at the close of the summit, and there's a lot of positivity about about all the positive things that have come out of this summit being carried on into India's presidency, and people are looking forward to supporting India in that, and we certainly will play our part in the United Kingdom to make sure that we do that.
All right, it's 3 p.m. We're getting the very latest as far as India's bilateral with the UK is concerned. Pictures on your screen of UK Prime Minister and Indian Prime Minister there in that bilateral engagement. Geeta, Mohan, our Foreign Affairs Editor, is in Bali tracking the all-important G20 meeting for us. Geeta, take us to the details of what's on top of the agenda for UK and India when it comes to the bilaterals.
Well, what is on top of the agenda is the trade issues between the two countries. We know that the Indian side has been raising concerns with regards to visas, students issues, and the caps on jobs and employment. These are areas of concern, and also the fact that Rishi Sunak appointed Suella Braverman as the country's Home Secretary, even as she had made the comments and statements about linking FTA to people overstaying their visas. This was before he took over as Prime Minister, and even then he actually reappointed her, because the areas and issues of concern are many, but they are primarily domestic, Sneha. The UK Prime Minister over here looking at how to ensure that he has all those who are opposing him on his side to have a strong government. But how long will that government last is the question. Today is a day of optics, but also of optimism. The cordiality with which the leaders are meeting Prime Minister Narendra Modi is quite astounding. If you see the visuals, you can actually create a montage of all the world leaders having met Prime Minister Modi in a very cordial atmosphere, including Chinese President Xi Jinping over dinner last night. Having said that, there are areas when it comes to economy, the Russia-Ukraine war, FTA, visas, defense and security cooperation. All these areas will be touched upon. But like Rishi Sunak said, do not focus on the fact that he is talking about the free trade agreement. Focus on the fact that he said it has to be done right. As Finance Secretary, sitting on the free trade agreement conversations, he was very clear on the niggling issues between the two countries, and that they need to be ironed out for a free trade agreement to really be signed between the two countries. And it doesn't seem like there is going to be an early conclusion of the FTA. There are areas of concerns and problems that both sides have to work out. They already could not keep the Diwali deadline. And now we're looking at maybe a more prolonged conversation and engagement with Rishi Sunak as Prime Minister. Also, Rishi Sunak has a long battle back home to fight to keep the position of Prime Minister, to keep his seat. We'll have to wait and see whether if he stays long enough to see the early conclusion of an FTA, or to see the conclusion of an FTA, and whether he's going to lead his country into elections when the UK goes into elections. So there are a lot of layers to the conversations that are taking place today. But what we can really say with certainty is that the UK is committed to partnering with India, engaging in India, and considers India a very important partner. And that comes across not just with the meeting that's taking place right now, Sneha, it comes across with the kind of engagements, meetings, handshakes, the conversations on the sidelines, pull-asides that have taken place between Sunak and Modi here in during the course of the 2 days that the G20 Summit has taken place. So there were a lot of moments where the two leaders met, and they had lovely conversations. It was in a very cordial atmosphere, and you're seeing that carry forward. This, in fact, is a very big not just for India, primarily for the UK, given that he has taken over as Prime Minister and is meeting Modi for the first time as Prime Minister.